The film starts by introducing a revolutionary medical innovation by the German biotech firm, Aeon, an advertisement highlighting a groundbreaking procedure allowing individuals to transfer their own time to others in need. This pioneering process essentially enables people to sell their age to those willing to pay for it. Aeon securely stores the time acquired from sellers and swiftly transfers it to recipients, effectively reducing their age and revitalizing them. Typically, those opting for this procedure are facing financial hardship, seeking funds for education, or to enhance their quality of life. Aeon acknowledges that it primarily serves individuals with no other valuable assets to sell with their time. Max plays a pivotal role as a donation manager for Aeon, adept at persuading individuals to sell their age, drawing from his own experience of selling 5 years of his life to afford college. Max excels in his role, convincing a migrant family to sell 15 years of their teenage son's life for his benefit. His success earns him recognition as Aeon's top agent of the year. While many benefit from Aeon's advancements, some voices oppose it, citing concerns that it destroys social and economic inequality. Amidst the backdrop of opposing forces, the Violent Atom Group launches attacks on Aeon's recipients, driven by their resistance to the motives behind the company's transformative technology. Despite this unrest, Max remains steadfast in his support for the benefits of the age transfer procedure. Meanwhile, the couple pays a visit to Elena's parents, only to be met with criticism from her father regarding Max's career choice. Despite the disapproval, Elena stands unwaveringly by her husband's side, offering her steadfast support. Upon their return home, however, tragedy strikes as they discover their apartment engulfed in flames. Purchased on credit due to financial constraints, the destruction of their home leaves Max and Elena reeling, burdened with the worry of how to settle the remaining debt. Though they hold out hope for insurance coverage, their hopes are dashed when the insurance company denies their claim, citing negligence on Elena's part for leaving a candle burning. Unbeknownst to Max, the bank loan contract contains a clause stipulating that if the debt remains unpaid, the bank can claim 40 years of age. This revelation comes as a devastating shock to Max and Elena, who had been eagerly anticipating starting a family amidst their financial struggles. Amidst unforeseen challenges, Max and Elena are filled with stress and sorrow as their apartment is devastated by fire, leaving them to grapple with the aftermath and struggle to cope. They are struggling with the weight of remaining debts owed to a bank, which were originally taken out to finance their now destroyed home. Now, they are confronted with the challenging task of gathering a significant amount of money. Despite Max's sincere efforts to get help from his employer, Aeon, led by CEO Sophie, their hopes are crushed when they only get a small promotion that doesn't really help with their urgent financial problems. Meanwhile, Elena, dedicated to her role as a doctor at a community hospital, finds herself constrained by her modest income, unable to make significant contributions towards their mounting expenses. As they confront the harsh realities of their situation, their shared vision of a stable future feels increasingly out of reach, underscoring the pervasive challenges faced by those on the margins of society. Yet, in the face of adversity, they hold on to hope, determined to rebuild their lives and overcome the obstacles that lie ahead. In a heartbreaking turn of events, Elena finds herself unable to repay a loan, leading to her arrest by authorities and subsequent surgery at the Aeon facility. Tragically, she loses 38 years of her life as determined by the authorities, instantly transforming into an elderly woman. This drastic measure of undergoing the age transplant surgery is perceived as the means of settling the debt owed to the bank, effectively closing the financial chapter of their lives, although at the cost of depleting Elena's youth. Despite Max's sincere efforts to propose an alternative solution by offering to donate his own time, his plea is met with rejection from the authorities. They justify their decision by stating that there are no suitable candidates who could receive Max's time, leaving them with no choice but to proceed with the surgery on Elena. As the story unfolds, Max remembers a time when he donated his years in the hope of finding a compatible recipient. However, his hopes are shattered when he discovers that the person who was supposed to receive his years has recently passed away, leaving him in confusion and desperation. Meanwhile, Elena maintained her innocence, insisting she didn't leave any candles burning in their apartment, despite suspicions surrounding the cause of the fire. As the investigation deepens, it becomes clear that there's more to the story than meets the eye. Shockingly, it's revealed that Sophie, the CEO of Aeon, had a hidden agenda in her search for an aging donor. Instead of searching for a donor for selfless reasons, Sophie was looking for someone whose body matched hers, suggesting a hidden or suspicious agenda. This revelation adds a new layer of complexity to the unfolding events, leaving everyone questioning who they can trust and what ulterior motives may be lurking beneath the surface. In a surprising turn of events, Sophie reveals that her quest for an age donor was driven by a desire to advance research into age donation, aiming to make it accessible to everyone. However, achieving this goal required her to receive time from someone compatible with her own body, ensuring she could live long enough to see her vision through. Several years ago, Aeon had identified Elena as a compatible donor for Sophie. Max was tasked with persuading Elena to donate her age. However, Max and Elena unexpectedly fall in love and tie the knot, disrupting Aeon's plans. Despite this setback, Sophie remains undeterred, determined to fulfill her mission. The shocking truth emerges that the fire accident was no accident at all, but a carefully orchestrated scheme to force Elena into surrendering her time, allowing Sophie to extend her own life. As Max's employer, Aeon was well aware of his financial struggles and aspirations for a better life. The company slyly inserted the clause of forced age transfer into the bank loan contract, biding their time to execute their covert plan. The truth behind the fire emerges, revealing that Aeon was responsible for the blaze, orchestrated to ensure Sophie's prolonged life. Suspicions point to Sophie's trusted security agent, Kaya, as the likely culprit who broke into the apartment and started the fire, ultimately securing Sophie the time she needed. After Elena's surgery, Max turns to Sophie once again for assistance. However, he is astonished to see Sophie looking much younger than before. This unexpected change confirms Max's worst fears that his wife's time has been taken from her and given to Sophie through the surgery. Following the distressing procedure, Max and Elena's relationship takes a devastating turn as Elena struggles to come to terms with her sudden aging. Despite Max's attempts to offer comfort and support, his efforts appear weak in the face of Elena's despair. Amidst the turmoil of Elena's refusal to stay with him, Max desperately searches for a way to reverse the effects of her surgery. His quest leads him to encounter a young girl involved in illicit activities who appears remarkably youthful despite her lifestyle. Max soon discovers that she has undergone a reverse age transplant, sparking hope in him. Through this encounter, Max learns of an underground group in neighboring Lithuania that secretly performs age transplant surgeries for profit, bypassing Aeon's legal monopoly on such procedures. Determined to reclaim Elena's stolen time, Max hatches a daring plan to kidnap Sophie, the recipient of Elena's age. Venturing to a local graveyard in Berlin, Max finds Sophie, who looks very young, alone and seizes the opportunity to snatch her away. Despite her now noticeably younger appearance, Max is convinced that Sophie's transformation is the result of the age transplant. With his bold move, Max embarks on a risky mission to undo the damage wrought by Aeon's deceitful practices. However, this young woman claims to be Sophie's daughter, Marie, but Max remains skeptical. For a while, Paradise is shrouded in mystery regarding a woman's true identity. Elena notices the absence of any surgical marks on her body, leading her to believe she might indeed be Marie. However, Max reminds her that the recipient of the transplant would not bear such marks due to skin rejuvenation. Despite claiming disapproval of her mother's actions, the young woman attempts to flee from Max and Elena. Eventually, it's revealed that she is indeed Sophie's daughter, Marie, and had no involvement in the age transplant. It's widely known that Sophie had only one daughter, who tragically passed away from progeria years ago. Sophie's loss drove her to delve into age transplantation research, but she had kept Marie hidden from the world, possibly to shield her from examination. Despite kidnapping the wrong woman, Max is determined to proceed with the transplant, believing it will reduce Elena's age and that Mary can reclaim her time from Sophie. However, their plan takes a turn when they encounter opposition from the rebel faction, the Atom Group. Led by Lilith, the group learns of Max and Elena's covert trip to Lithuania, as their fugitive status has made headlines in German news. Lilith also discovers that they have kidnapped Marie, prompting her to track down Max and Elena and hold them captive. Demanding that Max strike a deal with Sophie, who the Atom Group intends to abduct, Lilith orchestrates an ambush. However, the plan goes awry when Kaya catches wind of the scheme, leading to a chaotic gunfight. In the ensuing chaos, Lilith is fatally wounded, Sophie is injured, and Max and Elena find themselves fighting for survival alongside Marie. Despite the chaos, Max and Elena still have the chance to meet with the Lithuanian group and undergo the reverse transplant. However, Max has a change of heart, realizing that forcibly taking Marie's time would make them no better than the corporations they're fighting against. With this newfound clarity, they opt to release Marie, choosing compassion over vengeance. As Elena becomes increasingly determined to regain her youth through a reverse age transplant, tensions escalate between her and Max. Despite Max's assertions that such a procedure may not be possible or safe, Elena remains unwavering in her determination. In a sudden turn of events, she abruptly abandons Max during their journey, signaling the abrupt end of their relationship. Arriving at the secret meeting location with Marie, Elena undergoes the age transplant successfully, thanks to their compatible DNA structures. Following the procedure, Marie is allowed to depart and is later discovered by a truck driver who returns her to Sophie's care. Meanwhile, Max finds himself at a nearby refugee camp in Lithuania, reflecting on the illicit activities of the illegal gang involved in age transplantation. Realizing the parallels between this underground operation and Aeon's exploitative practices, Max is determined to put an end to this harmful procedure, motivated by the revelations and experiences he's had throughout their chaotic journey. The film ends when Max Thoma becomes the leader of the Atom Group and orchestrates an assault on an Aeon office campus. Following Elena's triumphant age transplant and restoration to youth, she finds love anew with another man, and the joyous news of her pregnancy unfolds. Despite these glimmers of hope, Sophie remains entrenched in her cruel and self-serving ways. She manipulates her daughter, Marie, into believing that she cannot undergo a time transplant to benefit herself, citing the need for further research that necessitates Sophie's prolonged lifespan.